Hi guys, Chef Kevin Belton here. Happy Thursday to you. Now, I don't know if you all had certain flavors growing up that you remember, but as a kid growing up in New Orleans, there are three distinct flavors I remember, especially during the summertime, okay? Now, everybody's familiar with snowballs, all right? And I'm not talking an ice cup, okay? Not a snow cup, but snowballs, all right? Snow cones are made with crushed ice, okay? Snowballs are made with shaved ice, where it's really, really, really thin. And what you can't see, gang, Noah's on a break from school today. Do this virtual lesson, he's back there cheering snowballs. That's right, we love our snowballs. So, when mom or dad couldn't take you to the snowball stand, somebody on the block, one of the ladies, one of the grandmas, always sold a frozen cup, what we call a huckybuck or a frozen cup, and that was such a unique flavor. The other flavor I always remember was a Fudgesicle. Do you guys remember on those warm summer days, that Fudgesicle? Oh, it was so creamy and chocolatey, it started running down your hand. And the last one was that Creamsicle. Oh, that orange flavor, it was creamy, it was orange. Oh, that was so good as well. So today, in going back to that summertime treat, I'm gonna make I lost my train of thought. I got so excited.
Creamsicle cookie.
Make a creamsicle cookie. All right? Monica had to remind me because she knows I get stupid. But we're doing a creamsicle cookie. Now, what I have done, I've started creaming out my cream cheese and butter. I just had, 8 ounces of cream cheese, half a cup of butter, got soft, got that creamed out. Here, I have 2 1/4 cups of flour, where I have 2 teaspoons of baking powder and a half a cup of powdered sugar. Now I'm going to get that in there. We're just going to mix this together right quick. All right, because we're going to get this into our wet mixture in just a bit, okay? But into our mixture here, we're going to add 1.5 cups of sugar. So we'll get our sugar in, all right? Then we're going to put in this other 1/2 cup, I have some orange zest, okay? Now, here's the thing. Yes, this was a navel orange that I zested. When you hear about using orange juice, that'll add a flavor, but sometimes you get a lot of liquid, okay? So that's why in a lot of recipes it calls for zest as opposed to juice, because you don't want that extra liquid, but you do want that flavor. And we're gonna get that flavor from the orange zest. So let's get this in. And we're just gonna kind of blend this together right quick, just to get it creamy and frothy. We're gonna add an egg to this mixture, okay? And then we're gonna start adding our egg, and we're gonna get in some other flavors that are gonna give this a wonderful, wonderful flavor. So you see how quick that is? We just wanna cream that together. Whoa! You saw that egg almost run away? Let's crack our egg in. We're gonna get our egg whipped in right quick. I don't know how many of y'all remember having to do this by hand, with grandma. She didn't have an electric mixer, so she's like, okay, just do it by hand, sit there. And as a kid, they put the bowl between your knees, and you just had to sit there with a spoon and stir like you were crazy. Well, hey, it was worth it because it tasted so good. So now let's get in some vanilla, and I'm going to use orange extract, okay? Now I'm going to do a teaspoon of each. And sometimes I tend to go do a little more vanilla because I like it. But here, a teaspoon of vanilla. Yes, and can you believe that? I am measuring. Now, orange extract. Anytime you see extracts like orange or other flavors, really be careful. Really measure them out, because if you do too much, it's really going to be strong, all right? Now, that's a teaspoon. Monica loves the flavor, and so I did 1.5 teaspoons for her because she likes that strong flavor, okay? So remember, it's all about always doing things to your taste, all right? So let's get this beaten in right quick. And to give it a nice color, we're going to use some food colorings. Now, to make orange, I'm going to use red and I'm going to use yellow food coloring. And depending on how much you use, depending on how dark it is. Now, I'm going to show you something. Let's start off with 2 drops of the red. That means we're going to do 4 drops of the yellow. And you know, this is where you can always add to something. You can never take away from it. So hopefully you'll be able to see how this color is going to change as we go. And it totally depends on the color you want. Now that's a very, very light orange color. But you know, Monica likes a darker color. So let's go with 2 more drops of red. 2 more drops, 4 drops of yellow. I tell you what, gang, let's just go ahead and put 2 extra drops of yellow in. 1 more drop of red. I think that'll keep the boss happy. And you'll see how it'll have a deeper orange color. Now, if you didn't want to do that, that's fine. But you know, part of that dreamsicle, that creamsicle, was that color. It was such a beautiful, beautiful color. All right, look at that. Don't you think that's a nice color? Okay, I think we're good there. So now let's start getting in our flour, all right? And this is where you just have to be careful. It can get a little messy. I'm gonna get half the flour in. And before I turn this on, I'm going to try to start moving this around some with it off, just so we don't have that flour flying all over the place. But you know I'm really good at that, just like there. And it seems a bit tight, but that's okay. Remember, we're making a dough, so it's going to seem tight for just a second, but it's going to loosen up a little bit to where we can work with it, all right? Now, as we put the other in, come on, hop in there, baby. Get all the way in. I'll get this started, and then we're going to make sure we swipe down the sides of the bowl. All right, low, 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 low. There's our flour flying out, but I expected that.
Hey, Travis said you were telling your age, and Adam says you need higher ceilings.
Wait, Travis, you say I'm telling my age?
Yep.
Because do you remember having to do things by hand for Grandma? Is that why you're saying that? And I need higher ceilings. I tell you what, you know, if I had higher ceilings, it would be harder to clean things when I get things splattered on the ceiling. That's the thing about higher ceilings. All right? But, all right, look, gang, I'm just taking this little spatula and wiping down the sides just to make sure we get all of that flour and any sugar and batter on the sides mixed in. So you just swipe it on your paddle, on the beater, I should say. All right. I'm telling my age. Tell you what, gang, that's good enough. See, we don't want to get things over mixed. So that's good right there. Oh, I'm just making a mess over here. Let's go ahead and take, how many of you guys want this? I'm sure you remember, hey, can I have the beaters, Grandma? You know, I think it was Travis about the age.
Yeah.
Hey, Travis, I'll tell you a little secret. My son told his boys, my grandsons, he says, you know, when your grandfather was at school, you're worried about carrying a book bag. His books were stone tablets. That's how old he is. So, you know, payback, I tell you what. But it wasn't too bad carrying those stone tablets to school. Had to walk in the snow, uphill both ways, for miles. All right. I didn't have to go through the snow, but I had to walk through the swamps. How about that? That'll work? All All right, guys, I'll get the rest of this off of here later. All right, but you can kind of see what we're trying to do. All right, let me just set these over here. On the side, I'll clean those off later. Now, I have like a little 2-ounce ice cream scoop. Okay. You remember that other powdered sugar? The recipe will call for a cup of powdered sugar. Half of it went in, but here's some more powdered sugar here. Okay. The pan I just have lined with parchment paper. Now this is where the kids can help. It'll get a little dusty in the kitchen, but just take a spoonful, drop it in, drop that batter into the powdered sugar. So I like to keep a clean hand and a dirty hand, and we just want to coat these with the powdered sugar. Okay, just put them right on the parchment paper. And we have to be careful because these are going to spread out as they cook, and we're going to mash them down just a little bit, and I'll show you what they look like when we mash them down. Now, what this powdered sugar will do, this powdered sugar will give it that floured look on the outside of the cookie. That's what this powdered sugar does on the when you put it on the outside like this, when you roll the batter in. Come on out of there. Come on, you can do it. Come on, just give me one more. There we go. That's all. All right, because we'll get the rest of these done later. All right, just roll that up. Get this in. Get that there. All right. Now, let me just rinse off my hands, gang. Now, I always talk about doing things to the way you like them and to your taste, okay? Here, this is just a tiny mason jar. Little piece of parchment paper, all right? If you just put the parchment paper on, you can do this with your hand. You just want to mash them down a little bit, okay? Now, Monica doesn't like hers mashed a lot, all right? She just likes a little bit of a mash, where Noah and I, we like it more thinner, a little crispier. And you see how flat I mashed?
Too thin.
How much flat I mashed that one? See, Monica's already saying too thin, too thin. But that's the way we like it, all right? So you can do them, but those are better?
Yeah.
The fatter
ones?
ones?
Those are too thin.
These are too thin?
Yeah.
See, gang, do it to your taste. Now, if you're making them for your wife or your better half, all right, that spouse or your better half, just make sure you're doing the way they want them. Oven, 350 degrees. Now, these only have to go in the oven for 8 to 11 minutes. I know that's an odd time, but I found that at 10 minutes is almost the perfect time for them. But depending on how thin they are. So they're gonna get dry, they're gonna look a little wet, and all of a sudden, when you check them at 8 minutes, you see them in the next couple of minutes start to dry out on top. That's fine, all right? Because what happens is, it's gonna be really, really soft. Take the rack out, put it on a cooling rack, then after about 5 minutes cooling, pull the paper off and put the cookies on the paper right onto the cooling rack and let them cool the rest of the way, and they'll firm up. This is how they look when they get done. And of course, the ones I made earlier, we made them for Noah and I. See how flat they are, all right? But you see how that little powdered sugar has that little cracked on the top? That's because we roll them in powdered sugar. Now, if you don't want to roll them in the powdered sugar, they won't have that look, okay? But or if you just want to put them down, put a little powdered sugar on the top, that's fine as well. Actually, what I may try to do, you know what? I'll show you this. And I haven't tried this, but let's see how it comes out. If we take one, and this might need a little longer cooking, but if I just put this one without flattening it out there, I might try to see how that comes out.
Gooey.
And maybe,
Gooey deliciousness.
Gooey deliciousness, yeah, because it might be a little soft in the middle. But here we go, gang. Now remember, the orange color, all right, adds that dreamsicle flavor. I should say it's an orange flavor, but in your mind, I don't know if you guys remember that orange color. And look, it's a nice, kind of soft, ooey gooey kind of cookie that's just, it's just so good. And I tell you what, these I made with a teaspoon of orange extract. Of course, the boss said I need a little more orange extract, so that's why in this batch I did 1.5 teaspoons, okay? So, if anything, freehand a little vanilla, but when you're dealing with extracts, be careful. Don't overdo it with extracts. So I hope this helped you get some of your flavors going. This with a glass of milk, oh, I tell you what, I don't know. I wonder if I may have to find some creamsicles and have it together, and we'll see how they work out.
Hey, so, tell Karina to get her son some orange extract.
Karina, get your son some orange extract. What, he wants orange extract?
He's 11 and he's the baker.
He's the 11 and the baker. Get him some orange extract. And just remind him, don't overdo it with the extracts. Any kind of extract, lemon, orange, there's all different flavors of extracts out there. Look at them above the seasoning. In the grocery store, there's a rack above the seasoning where you see vanilla extract. There'll be all different types of extracts. Play with them, but respect them because you don't need a whole lot, all right? So guys, keep washing those hands, keep masking up, keep being safe. For WWL, I'm Chef Kevin Belton. Have yourself a fantastic Thursday. And go make yourself some Creamsicle cookies.
Creamsicle.
All right, I'm dreaming about them, Monica. I know they're creamsicles, but I'm dreaming about the creamsicle. Bye, y'all. We'll see you soon.